There's so many teams across companies that are just putting a simple chatbot and calling that their AI strategy while it doesn't really do anything.
But is there any habits that people can adapt to, be safe from AI?
No,
No.
I literally don't think so. Can I curse?
Hi, everyone. So today we're joined by Emin, a network designer and automation specialist who's been working in the tech industry for several years. He holds both a bachelor's degree in economics and political science and a master's in cybersecurity from Fordham University. So let's jump into some questions because I know that's what our viewers want to hear. So let's start with, most of our questions are going to be based around AI today. It's the hot topic. And
So,
one thing that's been really big, and I've been even seeing ads for stuff like this around New York, is that agentic AI just entered the browser. So, how would you want an AI teammate to manage your daily web tasks without feeling intrusive or controlling? Or how could you trust an AI agent to do these tasks?
so actually, it's a topic in private companies because you kind of do need to use AI to do your work nowadays. And if you don't, you'll be left behind. And the question about it being secure is something that like we all face in private companies. So you would need to run your models on-prem if you want everything to be secure and not to breach any NDAs. So I think on-prem for companies that can afford on-prem, you would go that route. And if you can't go on-prem, if you don't have enough resources in-house, then I know some companies they would be encrypting the data in a way and send it to the providers. So like ChatGPT or Grok, XAI would receive encrypted data and then respond with encrypted data back. So in that way, it's secure. That's kind of the only way to do something like this, where it's not that intrusive to what you're actually talking about. But for like day-to-day scenarios, like with me and you on our personal laptops, unless you're doing something that's bad, I wouldn't be worried about companies like XAI or OpenAI seeing what you're doing. If that makes sense.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, thank you so much for bringing up like the topic of cybersecurity for people and also for companies. It's really important to keep people's data safe. I feel like every single day we're seeing a new article about data breaches. So it's definitely scary, but if you're not implementing these AI tools, unfortunately, you're going to get left behind in the way times are moving and how fast everything is changing.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So let's move on to question number two. So, if every small business could use a chatbot that truly gets work done, which task would you automate first and why?
Just for generative AI, it answers questions, but you wouldn't use Gen AI to actually build agents
Mhm.
because Gen AI doesn't usually have the context of what you're doing. Unless you, I guess there's a way around it. If you introduce like a huge system prompt into like a pipeline like LangChain, then you could kind of give it context on your environment. But if you really want like a proper chatbot for your industry, it will need tools that are also agents, and those tools will be automation scripts. So what agents actually do is they don't usually generate the actual scripts to run. For example, if you're trying to retrieve data from a specific source, that agent isn't going to know how to do that. So it needs tools to use in order to get said data. So in my view, you would need to build a lot of tools to actually have a useful chatbot
Yeah.
that can understand all the other agents that it needs to talk to,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. No, I think even if like we know from like personal use, chatbots
Mhm.
are far from perfect. So I think when you talk about incorporating, chatbots into your work, I think there could be some complications there. So,
Yeah, there's a lot of chatbots actually in the industry, or like so due to this whole topic of AI and everyone's asking each other, so what's your AI strategy and this and that, and then there's so many teams across companies that are just putting a simple chatbot and calling that their AI strategy while it doesn't really do anything.
mhm,
Um, so I personally don't like chatbots unless the thing is it'll give you information. It's not that it will actually do a task unless you give it tools.
mhm.
So that's my view on those.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people would agree with you.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess this would kind of leads into our next question as we talked about everyday people there at the end, but companies keep pouring money into AI, but where do you think everyday people will start to see benefits first?
Yeah, the money is it's kind of unlimited right now. Well, due to the way the US works, they're able to print money unlike other countries. So because of that and because of the hype, people will still be pouring in billions and billions. And I'm not gonna try to say it's a bubble, but it's coming to the point where I'm trying to find the right words. It's kind of going to be inevitable that we're going to spend all this money. And even if there is a bubble, let's say, even if it does pop, similar to the dot-com bubble, it's not like the internet disappeared after everything crashed. It actually grew more. So they just need to be careful on the financial aspect and not to kind of get too much in debt and just strategize a little bit. But for the question of when will people start reaping the benefits, I guess um, that I would give it like 5 years, just because there needs to be an implementation into the real world. So AI in the real world. Right now, it's just a bunch of LLMs that spit back text and don't really understand the actual world. So if we're talking about resources getting cheaper, that would require the work that people are doing manually right now to be automated. And only then will people actually start realizing that, okay, something is working and I'm getting benefits from it. Right now, it's kind of just like it will help people write stuff and be faster at their jobs, which is also a benefit. But it's not like it is significant, but it's not like an extreme benefit, if that makes sense.
I definitely see what you mean. Like we need to give it time. Like right now, I feel like when most people think about of AI, like working for them, they do think directly to chatbots. And once we start thinking of the implications that this will have economically for people, I think it's very interesting. But obviously, jobs take time to automate and things take time. So, we'll see what happens. But I'm very curious to see how AI evolves and what industries adapt it.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. It'll be very interesting for sure.
I guess we kind of talked about this, but if you were a city mayor, let's give a little scenario here, with a modest AI budget, which public service would you upgrade first and why?
That's a good question because there's a lot of things. And it also kind of depends on the city. So if I'm talking about New York City,
Sure. Let's talk about New York.
then yeah, if we're talking about New York, if I wanted to benefit the citizens of New York, I would not initially push in robo taxis because that will cause a lot of um, fear. So, what I would start with is honestly, I'd start with safety because it is safe in New York, but like some places, I mean, I stayed there for like 7 years. It's not like everywhere is safe. Surveillance is good in New York. There are cameras in a lot of the places, but if I was in the government, I would kind of pool all that data in order to amplify city intelligence to make it safer and faster to resolve whatever bad things go on in the city. So just consolidating, and there's a concept in AI where you can kind of um, input vectors into a DB. It's called RAG, where it's kind of like computing a matrix of numbers based on an input, and then based on a prompt, you can convert the prompt into a vector to query your vector DB, and it will give you an answer right away based on weights. So I guess just playing around with that, with all of the data that the city consumes, and then writing agents on top of those RAG data to actually make things go faster. That's what I do. I
Yeah.
wouldn't start with real world AI yet.
hmm No, thank you for touching on safety. I think that would be an amazing way
Yeah.
to implement an AI budget into New York City because it's something we desperately need.
Mhm.
So continuing on just AI in a whole, it's a really big topic, AI alignment is. So what personal value would you want your AI to learn from you before anything else?
Personal value, because this is very subjective.
Yeah, it
Because
is.
it's going to be like your AI, which I guess we all have. If you use ChatGPT, it kind of knows you. If you use Grok, it knows you from your posts and knows your personality. I mean, for me specifically, I just ask it to understand my humor or something like that. Nothing too crazy.
I know, I think that's interesting. I think also when you bring up like these AIs, like they understand our personality almost. I know it's become like a trend on social media that people give your AI these prompts and like learn about yourself. And I think it's
Yeah.
very interesting to, try and learn about yourself or define something about yourself from just data collected from yourself and not from like an actual human being. It's interesting for sure.
Yeah. The thing is that that data is already, I mean, if you're talking about Google's Gemini,
Yeah.
it has all your, it has your whole backstory, so it
Yeah.
will know you the best out of all of the AIs. So it's just a matter of Google really just leveraging that,
Yeah.
which I think it's inevitable. Actually, it might be doing it already. I'm not
Yeah.
too, yeah.
Yeah. I think you're right. It is inevitable. And kind of this like AI being inevitable and being everywhere. It's being used for scams left and right, but is there any habits that people can adapt to, be safe from AI that's used maliciously?
No,
No.
I literally don't think so. Um, Scams okay, like scams via media, like a video. Okay, that is you can kind of tell, but if it's a scam that is very well orchestrated in a way that I mean, there's a lot of types of scams out there. Some start with emails, some start with texts, and you can automate all of this. And it could be a person too. It's not, I mean, at the end of the day, it is a person. Even if they're using AI, the only thing that they'll benefit from by using AI is one, automating it, and also making it more believable by adding more rhetoric, because I'm pretty sure AI is better at adding rhetoric than an everyday person is. So I don't think there's really a way to stop scams, specifically. I mean, in addition to AI scams, it's a scam is a scam. It's just you just need to protect yourself by reading everything that comes across your table. And if it looks like someone's trying to extort you for money, then you just need to turn your brain on a little bit and kind of just understand that, okay, this is a scam. If it's from AI, it's from AI. If it's from a guy, it's from a guy. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. No, and it's getting really hard to tell out there sometimes, especially like every single person out there has a video of them speaking on social media. Anyone can just, take your voice, call a family member, use that to their advantage. There's so many ways that they
Yeah,
can implement it. It's almost impossible to keep up
yeah,
with.
that the voice thing is probably the worst of them, because I mean, if my friend calls me and it sounds like him, and it
Yeah.
would be hard. And but then you have to think, would they ask me for this? And that's kind of weird. That and then I just you know try to get get the reason out of it. And if it's not a good reason, then that should flip on a switch in my head that says this is kind of suspicious.
No, exactly. One time my aunt got a Venmo request from me that I did not send. That was $300 just labeled sandwiches. So, and she immediately called me like, "Why are you asking $300 from me?" I was like, "What?" Yeah, my Venmo got hacked. So,
Yeah,
it's like,
mine was hacked a long time ago.
yeah.
I left it. I closed my,
Yeah.
yeah,
What do you think, especially like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, what part of like AI worlds today do you think will feel outdated?
chatbots.
Oh yeah.
Like outdated as in like,
Kind of just like outdated, like an iPod would be today.
oh, like that. Well, I think the development process of AI itself will get, like, the implementation today, it's always evolving. So like people 6 months ago were like, oh, let's use LangChain is awesome. Let's just use LangChain for developing our agents. And recently people are iterating on top of it. And now they're like, maybe LangChain is not so good to create pipelines for agents. So I think specifically the development phase will see a lot of outdates or end of life kind of scenarios. But in terms of applications, I mean, chatbots are like bare minimum AI. It's like I can run it on my computer. It's not that wow,
Mhm.
not anymore at least. So I would say the current implementation of chatbots will probably get outdated in terms of just you put in some text and it just gives you a generic response. They'll probably iterate on top of it to be able to use tools in your environment to enhance the chatbot experience, or like you tell the chatbot to actually do something. You know what I mean?
And that's what I'm excited, like when I can just be like, send this email or, go into this and do this. But I
Yeah,
that's
like bring me a sandwich. I don't know.
Oh wait, that would be great. If we're
You know
talking
what I
that
mean?
level.
Yeah, because then it will talk to an agent that knows who has the sandwiches, and then go talk to that agent, and then that
Oh,
agent will be like,
yeah.
okay, I'll now tell the one that can make the sandwiches to go make the sandwich and then, you know,
Wait,
deliver.
that's the future I can sign
Yeah.
up for.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's where it's headed. That's what they mean when they talk about this abundance that AI is going to bring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about this a little earlier, which is self-driving cars, but would you fully trust a self-driving
Mhm.
car or
I don't
what?
know if you've been in one.
I have not actually. I want to
That's the
though.
first thing you should do is go to a self-driving car company. There's one that's very popular, Tesla, and go try their autopilot feature. It's really drives better than anyone, pretty much. And the reason is pretty simple because it has 360 vision at all times. It sees in all directions
Yeah.
simultaneously, and it's able to swerve through traffic, just do whatever it needs to do to get you to where you need to be. I trust them more than I trust myself driving.
Mm. I've never been in one, but I can guarantee you that it drives better than me, but that is a pretty low
Okay.
bar.
Yeah. I would if you stay in New York, I think there's a Tesla dealership in Brooklyn. There might be one in Manhattan too, but they do give demo drives, so
Oh,
for free. I mean, it's their way of trying to get customers. So if you go to one and you say, I want a demo drive, they will 100 immediately give you the car for like 30 minutes if you have a license.
you heard it here first.
Yeah,
Daily activity. If you want a day out, go to the
it's
Tesla
really fun.
dealership.
And you can just be like, actually, give me the Cybertruck. I'll give you the Cybertruck.
Yeah, I can't decide which one I want.
Yeah.
Um, so moving on to something that I'm actually really curious to hear your opinion about, because even before AI, this was being discussed, but in an age that's being dominated by AI, do you think college degrees will still matter as much?
It has never really mattered post like 2010, probably.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think so as
um,
well.
like if I had the option, I would have not gone to college. And to be honest, the way it is right now, you could literally learn and build anything by just asking any AI for that matter questions. Even one running on your laptop would kind of be better than a professor lecturing you and then like it's just going to be better because some people don't even have good relationships with their professors and then how and then obviously it's going to reflect on your grade, but it's not like truly objective. Like the college experience isn't objective, to
Mhm.
be honest. So I mean, if I was 18 or even in college, I mean, I'd go to college only for the experience, like just to make friends and connections and stuff like that, but not to actually learn anything. Because to be fair, well, I did learn a little bit in Fordham, but I got more out of the social scene than the actual classes. And in terms of academics, it was all done by like it's usually always done by yourself. Like whatever you learn is not the professor telling you this and that. It's like you sitting down and researching something you're curious about. And that's how you actually learn stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think that's really interesting. I think a lot of times people say like when you go to college, like you pay for the network, like that's what you're paying
Hmm.
for. And
That's
yeah,
pretty much it.
yeah.
If you already have a network, then screw it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So kind of I'm gonna skip a couple questions and we'll come back
Mhm.
to some, but I want to continue on this education topic. And I know schools are really resisting AI right now, especially because of cheating, but what would an ideal way to incorporate AI into the classroom look like? Do you
So easy. It's like the schools need to do what private companies are doing, which is using it to actually do something instead of not using it to do a crap job. So what I would do is, even if it's like a high school, I would make projects where it would be stupid not to use AI to kind of complete your project.
Mhm.
If you know, like if you were tasked to build a website, I wouldn't go HTML myself and actually build it.
Mhm.
Instead, you would save your time and actually use some intelligence to help you do that. So the whole cheating thing, I mean, if I can write one sentence and get the answer from AI, like that question, that's my view at least for that.
I agree. I think also, as soon as they graduate, like especially today's kids, they're gonna have to use AI in their jobs.
They
And
have to. It's
yeah,
like
learn
compulsory,
it.
actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So let's go back to cars. When do you think fully autonomous cars will become normal across the United States?
normal.
Hmm.
Okay. Across the United States. So it's already autonomous here in San Francisco. You can call it, I have the app on my phone for Tesla, Robotaxi. Um, it's just a matter of regulations at this point. It seems to me that the current administration is a bit lax on regulations, so this might accelerate this. But to cover the whole United States and to get people to trust self-driving cars, number one, they need to experience one. So, like, there's so many people that don't understand. They see self-driving cars advertised as like, oh, this car drives itself, but they don't understand. Like when you get in it and you press go, and then it takes you somewhere, it's kind of like you wouldn't be able to speak it. You really need to be able to experience it. So only after people actually grasp how good it is, and once regulations are passed, then they'd start heavily adopting it, I would say. But I would give that probably 5 years
Whoa. Okay. I'm
to be
excited to see
fully
it.
adopted.
Yeah.
Maybe 10 if there are some, you know, states that,
Mhm.
I don't know, resist or something.
Yeah.
Like,
I think a lot of people, especially like when they see something like when these cars, like, or if there is a mistake or there is a crash, they'll be like, oh, but look, these cars make mistakes. But what people don't take into account, it's so much less than what humans make. Like the amount of crashes would be minuscule compared to the amount that humans
yeah,
have.
it's a big difference. And it's just whenever something does happen, before they even understand the reason, it's such a big news story already that they don't even care about the reason anymore. And they just put it on the front headline
Hmm.
to get money. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's move on to the final question, which I think will be a really nice way to wrap everything up, which is how is AI already reshaping daily life, and how do you think we will adapt to living alongside it?
We are adapting. It's just a matter of it becoming like an actual norm across the world,
Hmm.
um, which is easy to do in the age of the internet. Like if you go somewhere in Asia, you will still be able to use ChatGPT or something. So I'm pretty sure the people there are already living alongside that. Um, it just gets fuzzy when you're talking about real world AI. So robots, um, and that doesn't seem too far out. I'm not sure if you follow Tesla's Optimus robot or even what's that other company? I mean, there's Boston Dynamics as well, but That was like the first one. And there's another one. But once those actually start doing things, then it will become more serious topic because right now it's just an app, pretty much. It's
Yeah.
just like computers talking to each other and automating stuff. It's hard to actually say like how we're going to adapt and live alongside it. Like, what if it, there's so many what ifs
Hmm.
that it becomes a gray area to actually say that.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think you're right. I think we'll just have to wait and see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, thank you so, so much for coming on our podcast. I really appreciated it. And I know I definitely learned a lot, so I hope the viewers also learned a lot. And thank you so much.
Cool. Yeah. No worries.